And what is good, y'all? Welcome back to the Director Z page. I am the Luis Zapatero, and we are here. Obviously, you can see the caption right here. The fuck is an SCP? Basically, I just wanted to break this down because this is one of my favorite internet phenomenons that has, like, slowly but surely become its own, like, fictional organization that a lot of people tend to think is actually real. But I think it's because the stories tend to get a little bit bigger and like bigger than life as soon as you unleash them, and as soon as you put them onto something like the internet, forget about it. They're all over the place now. Now a lot of people know about them, but then there's a fair amount of people I bring it up with, and they're like, "What's that?" They're like some kind of creepypasta or something. I'm like, it kind of is. It's like, you know, internet based. It's fictional, but it's meant to like have like scary or cool or science fiction, supernatural, paranormal stories. And right here on the bottom, it says what the acronym stands for those of you who are like, what does it even stand for? Secure, contain, protect. And we're just going to dive right into, like, know what this is about and, like, what this fictional organization entails in case you don't know. So, if you have no idea what this is, then let's just dive right in. Okay. So, like I said, this is mostly a fictionalized organization that secure, contains, protects a vast array of anomalies and supernatural and paranormal things. The SCP Foundation is a mysterious organization that strives to achieve the greater good, and this is in air quotes when I look this up, by any means necessary. It's the task of the Foundation to contain all kinds of phenomena, things that don't make sense or things that are not supposed to belong in the real world that people aren't supposed to see. An SCP can also range from something benign or something very apocalyptic. And Foundation is supposed to work in secret to prevent mass hysteria and panic from any of these anomalies or any of these unknown entities being revealed to the world publicly. And, yeah, you know, the whole Men in Black thing, the X-Files, the truth is out there. For example, there's a pharmaceutical that a lot of people have been talking about. This is actually a secret cure pill to effectively many diseases. Even some of the 1%ers are prevented from ever seeing this pill because it's also in limited quantity. But can you imagine that? A super pharmaceutical pill that just cures anything from the common cold to cancer to HIV in less than a few hours. Like I said, these stories are just incredible. And like they could be based on things that might be real. But there's so many of them. There's even SCP-7000. There's literally so many. I'm not even sure which ones may be fictionalized or reflective of something that might be real. But these stories are just really fun to me. They're like cryptic zoology. They're a little bit of science fiction and alien and supernatural stuff. There's even some Lovecraftian demonology stuff in here. I just love it. So I just want more people to know about it. So, I know just hearing the words as general as secure, contain, protect may sound a little bit weird. But the goal of secure is to practice... the goal of secure is basically they practice global surveillance and observation in order to detect and intercept any anomalies, any anomalous or anomaly activity before it gets out there in the world. Now, contain is the preventing the effects or the influence of the anomaly that is spreading, either by relocation or suppression, advanced technology, or, you know, that memory wipe thing they have in the like neuralizers or whatever. Like they have that kind of technology, obviously, because it's super secret, right? Sometimes it does involve wiping out certain people so that word doesn't get out. You know, like in some of those scary movies or in like some of those thrillers where like there was a murder committed and they have to get rid of every witness. It's kind of like that. And let's get to the final P here. Protect. All operations meant to protect mankind from SCPs up to including neutralizing and destroying when possible. So like I said, they range from benign to apocalyptic. Some of them can be so, not useless, but some of them could be like so unharmful and not hazardous or unhostile. And some of them could actually be very world-ending and messed up, and should probably be afraid if they're real. For example, this one is also one that may or may not be real. The pharmaceutical that I mentioned earlier, this is SCP-500, and this is the miracle cure to a bunch of different ones. And like I said, this is a benign type of SCP that doesn't really mess with anyone, doesn't kill anyone. People would kill for it, if they were really found out where it was, and that's why there's so many thousands of SCP Foundation facilities all over America. And yeah, something like this isn't really harmful to the world. But this next one is called SCP-682. And SCP-682 is a giant, unkillable, man-eating lizard. And the reason it looks like skull and bones here is because they've tried to kill this thing. They've tried Patriot missiles, they've tried nukes, they've tried all kinds of shit. It doesn't die. What does it do? It eats people. It brutalizes people. It murders with a smile on its weird reptilian cold face, okay? So now that you've seen SCP-500, and this is SCP-682, now you can see the vast array of what SCPs are capable of. There are some SCPs that are contained and that are meant to maybe be prevented from the world to prevent the panic and hysteria and like that, or they could also be preventing from people getting seriously injured and hurt and or eaten. Yeah. So, let's get to the categories here. Now, because there are so many of these cases and so many SCPs and so many anomalies in the world, a category system was based on the difficulty of containment. The first course, of course, is safe. The one I mentioned before, SCP-500, this, completely safe. Not harmful to anyone at all. And the next one is also something that is completely unharmful, but this is also used to pacify and or, calm down the more violent SCP inmates at these foundations. And I'm speaking, of course, of SCP-999, the happy, gelatinous glob that apparently causes euphoric elation whenever you're around. For those of you who don't know, elation is just like the highest form of joy. So, when you're around this little egg yolk looking, it's so cute though. Apparently, you have this feeling of just happiness and like nothing can bring you down and you just want to hug and like smile all the time. Apparently, this little guy is used to calm this big guy. Yeah, this guy is introduced to that big lizard's room so he can calm the hell down and stop being so violent. And actually, there have been instances where this thing doesn't attack that gelatinous glob at all. Just lets him in, lets him be happy, lets him be cool. But the minute they try to take the blob away from this fucker, he gets snappy. So yeah, this gelatinous cube has been known, this gelatinous blob, my bad, not cube. This gelatinous blob has been known to just cause happiness and euphoric feeling and elation in all people that are around it. So another SCP that is safe is SCP-999 because there is no hostile intent in this adorable little guy. So yeah, there's a safe class. The next class is Euclid. This will probably explain this better. So like I said, the category classes are kind of broken down like this. There's more than this, but these are kind of like the four main ones. The one I just mentioned before, safe, is SCPs 500 and SCP-999. Euclid is the means that an SCP requires more resources to contain completely. Or where containment isn't always really reliable, if that makes any sense. I think a good example of this would probably be this next one. You're all looking like, Lou, that's not an SCP. That's an IKEA. This is actually SCP-3008. And for those of you who don't know, this is where it starts to get a little weird. I know it's already weird. Gelatinous blobs, miracle cures, and giant man-eating lizard immortal guys. But this right here, SCP-3008, is a huge and sprawling pocket dimension hidden inside of an IKEA. So yeah, when I say Euclid, I mean it's very hard to contain something as big as an IKEA. And apparently this pocket dimension inside of it is significantly bigger. So if you get in there, and you end up in this pocket dimension, you will be lost for weeks, months on end. There's a whole video I got to do on this. There are people's stories that have went in, and whenever they go, the structure's bigger. And here's where it gets really, really fucked. That IKEA has employees in it, right? And you're like, oh, well, the employees, well, why do they work there? It's a pocket dimension. How do they? They're not human. Oh, my bad. Did I even put it in here? No, I did not. So yeah, basically, that was a mistake. Basically, the things that work here have IKEA uniforms, but they don't have a fucking face. You know what? I'm kind of glad I didn't put the picture in there. That, in itself, deserves an entire video. So look out for it. SCP 3008 video coming up very soon. So yeah, pocket dimension, inside IKEA, hostile, faceless IKEA employees. Yeah, that's pretty fucking... Okay, so I'm just going to get into the next one because I already showed it to you. It is also in the Euclid class because it's pretty difficult to explain, as well as it probably needs a little more resources to contain. Now, you're probably all looking at me like, first in IKEA, now a fucking vending machine? What you don't understand is that this coffee vending machine is unlike anything you've ever seen. I sound like I'm trying to say, this is unlike any coffee vending machine you've ever seen! No. You see that keyboard? That accordion keyboard? Yeah, right there, the one that looks like a laptop keyboard. This doesn't just dispense coffee. The people at the SCP Foundation found out the hard way that this thing could make any liquid ever. You can type it in. Apparently, it was been known to give in poisonous compounds, some of the greatest milkshakes and drinks of all, the infected, diseased blood. I'm telling you, the shit you could make on this vending machine. You could type in the drinkable cure for cancer, and it would. Like, it was just making whatever. Apparently, an SCP employee typed in, "Give me the best drink in the world." He drank it. A week later, the man was on top of the world. He seemed like the happiest person on earth. Then a few days after that week, he wasn't coming into work anymore. And then they found out that he killed himself and left a note that said, "Everything else just feels like a letdown now." Yeah. So this was a very special case of a coffee vending machine, if you will. And, yeah. So that's Euclid class. The next class, of course, is called Keter. Now, Keter class is the exceedingly difficult to contain. Either it's very volatile and extremely powerful and also requires a lot of personnel and money, or it's just really, really, really difficult to get the resources together to put something to contain it, and they have to just observe. For example, this next one is one of my personal favorites, and we'll definitely be getting a video in the future. And it is called SCP-345, the Red Pond, or some people call it the Red Pool, the Red Lake, or some people call it the Blood Pond or the Blood Lake. In northern Canada is an encampment that's supposed to be a containment field filled with personnel, soldiers, automatic weapons, and Humvees, and all kinds of scientists that are holding this this entire, like, huge lake that is filled with blood. And upon further speculation, I know, the scientists looked into it. It's not blood. It's actually an inorganic substance that resembles blood. But how fucking scary is that? Like, you're just in northern Canada, you're just like, oh yeah, it's a very nice, and then you fucking come up, and there's a lake of blood? Like, is this a legend in Canada? That's hard as shit. But apparently, this is like a real, like, this is like a fan favorite for a lot of SCP fans. And apparently this is a red pool that resembles blood, and every now and then, according to some people, it also has these psychic waves, and it has the ability to think and to send and project its psychological attacks. Another thing is that it's been known to unleash powerful entities in waves. One powerful entity was a floating black sphere that was emitting high concentrated levels of radiation. Yeah. Then there was a 15-foot tall reptilian creature that firearms did not work on. There were also these two felines that were apparently elementals. One was made of fire and one was made of ice. And get this, a humanoid robot killer, given the name the Terminator, came out of the pool as well. And a bear-sized echidna that they had to use napalm to take down came out of this red fucking pool. What? What is in this pool? And then my favorite part, apparently, tentacles have been known to come out of this blood pool. Like full-on Cthulhu, octopus, squid. What? Insanity. Yeah, I need a separate video on we're definitely doing the red pond next for SCPs. So yeah. Then there's the Thaumiel category, which is after Keter. And it actually consists of SCPs that are used to contain other SCPs. SCP-7000-J is a book of Latin incantations that could summon other entities that is made of velociraptor skin. Yeah. And apparently there's like a cage or containment field that's an SCP that I couldn't get the number on that contains that. And then there's SCP-4006, which happens to be the entire state of Massachusetts. What? Yeah, this definitely needs more research. I definitely need to just like, dive right in more into this. And then apparently there's an SCP-4991, which was apparently a website that was reporting in an alternate universe of a terrible locust virus that was killing people. Like there were these apocalyptic fly things in the air spreading this terrible virus, and it was all over this website, and everyone was in mass hysteria, destroying everything, killing themselves. And the SCP had to put the website down because it wasn't even like a real thing. It was just from an alternate world where it wasn't happening here, but it was being reported, and people were probably gonna panic. So yeah, that's also an SCP that I'm like, I need a little more information. So yeah, thank you all for joining me, and this has been What is an SCP, and I appreciate you joining this crazy sci-fi, supernatural, paranormal journey with me. And this has been Luis Zapatero and the Director Z. Thank you, and that'll be all. Later.